Run!
Mayfield. You skateboard and never take off your Walkman. That's me.
Look at me.
We have a very special treat that's sure to turn your day upside down.
What is it?
They're here.
Monsters are coming and you're all gonna die.
Here's everything you need to remember before watching Stranger Things Season 5 in under 4 minutes. Make sure to tag a friend so they get caught up. In Season 1, it starts out with Will Byers disappearing when he sees a tall Demogorgon in the middle of the road. His friends Mike, Lucas, and Dustin try to look for him, and they end up running into this girl named Eleven. She has telekinetic powers and an 11 tattoo. Joyce, who is Will's mom, ends up communicating to Will Byers through lights when Will is stuck in the Upside Down and figures out that he's still alive. And Eleven ends up helping the boys survive a Demogorgon by supposedly sacrificing herself. Will is eventually rescued by Joyce and Hopper in the Upside Down, but at the end of the season, in the bathroom, he coughs up a slug which ends up being a Demogorgon. And we find out that something evil is still inside him. Moving on to Season 2. A year later, Will sees giant visions of a huge shadow monster. It's called the Mind Flayer, and this Mind Flayer eventually possesses him. And Dustin raises a creature that he found in his trash can, and he names it Dart, which turns out to be a baby Demogorgon. Eleven learns that her real name is Jane Ives, and she finds out the truth about her mother, Terry Ives. Meanwhile, the Mind Flayer was sending Demogorgons over to Hawkins' lab, and Bob Newby in that process sacrificed himself to save everyone. Eleven ends up pushing herself to the limit and closes the gate. Will is freed from the Mind Flayer possession, the monsters die, and everyone finally gets a moment of peace at the snowball dance. But it's revealed that the Mind Flayer is still watching. Moving on to Season 3. It's summer in Hawkins, and the place to be is Starcourt Mall, but underneath it is actually a secret Russian base where they have a gate to the Upside Down, and they're trying to open it. Dustin picks up the Russian code from his tower on the top of the hill when he tries to reach Susie, so he teams up with Steve, Robert, and Erica to try and crack the code. Billy Hargrove ends up becoming possessed by the Mind Flayer and kidnaps people, and in turn melts them into a giant monster, which is a form of the Mind Flayer. And this is when Joyce and Hopper discover that the Russians have a machine trying to open the gate. In the final battle, Eleven injures the monster, but she ends up losing her powers. Billy breaks free from the monster long enough to save Eleven's life, but not long enough to save his life. Joyce and Hopper eventually destroy the machine, the monster dies, and so does Hopper? At least everyone thought he died, but really, he got sent to a Russian prison. Now moving on to Season 4. 6 months later, the group is split between Hawkins and California. Eleven is bullied, then arrested, and then taken by Dr. Owens to regain her powers. Through the Nina Project, of course. Meanwhile, a new killer appears in the show named Vecna, a humanoid monster who breaks his victims' bones and traps them in nightmares. Chrissy, Fred, and Patrick all die because of Vecna, and Max becomes the next target. She barely escapes by listening to Running Up That Hill, making it one of the most iconic scenes in television history. Hopper fights for his life in a Russian prison, and Joyce and Murray make it their mission to save him. Meanwhile, the Hawkins crew finds out that Vecna was originally Henry Creel, aka Patient 001, and this is who Eleven blasted into the Upside Down years earlier, transforming him into Vecna. He wasn't just a monster, he was the mastermind behind everything. Then the gang splits up. Nancy, Steve, and Robin attack Vecna. Max, Lucas, and Erica come up with a plan to use Max as bait. Eleven fights from inside Max's mind via piggybacking, and Hopper kills a Demogorgon to weaken the hive. Then Vecna succeeds in killing Max for just 1 minute before Eleven revives her. This opens the 4 gates and tears Hawkins apart. Like I said, Eleven brings Max back to life, but her body is broken and she is left in a coma. Then Will touches his neck and says he can still feel Vecna, and Vecna's still here. Hawkins is destroyed, vines spread, ash falls from the sky like it's snow, and the Upside Down is bleeding into the real world. The final war has officially begun. And that is everything you need to know before watching Stranger Things Season 5. Make sure to share this with a friend, and if you guys want more Stranger Things content like this, then be sure to like and follow for more.